J-E-L-L-O.
The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Kenny Baker, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Fine and Dandy. You know, when a friend recommends something to you, whether it's a movie, a book, or something good to eat, you naturally feel favorably toward it. You feel that you can expect real quality. Well, that's the way our millions of friends feel about Jell-O, and no wonder, for Jell-O stands for quality. The name Jell-O is a trademark. It's the property of General Foods, and it tells you here is the best-looking, best-tasting dessert your family can enjoy. The one and only Jell-O. If you hear any other gelatin dessert called Jell-O, you'll know that's incorrect, for there is no other. And Jell-O brings you delicious, extra-rich fruit flavor, fragrant, full-bodied, and supremely tempting. A satisfying goodness that makes Jell-O America's favorite gelatin dessert. So when you buy, don't accept any substitutes for the real thing. Look for those big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O.
That was Fine and Dandy, played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you a man...
Hey, wait a minute, Jack. What's the idea?
There's going to be a little switch, Don. Tonight, I'm going to introduce you.
Well...
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you a man who today is celebrating his 16th anniversary in radio. Here he is, folks, 300 pounds of sugar and spice and everything nice, Don Wilson. Now, there you are, Don.
Well, thanks, everybody, and thank you, too, Jack, for that lovely tribute. But really, you didn't have to do it.
Oh, yes, I did, Don. Any man who can spend 16 years in radio and never miss a broadcast, a laugh, or a meal deserves an ovation. Today is your day, Don, and nothing is too good for you.
Oh, I'm glad to hear you say that, Jack, because for some time now I've been planning to ask you for a raise. I think I should get more money, don't you?
What's that, Don?
I said I think I deserve more money.
You sure do. Well, let's get on with the program. Tell me, Don, I'm sure a lot of our listeners would like to know, how did you happen to get into radio? Were you always an announcer?
No, Jack. I started out on an exercise program. I was known as Happy Don the Muscle Builder.
Oh, setting up exercises, eh?
Yeah, I used to start out the program by saying to my audience, bend over and touch your toes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, and then I'd bend over with them.
Oh, sure, I can imagine.
Now,
Yeah.
wait a minute, Jack. I'm still pretty limber. I can bend over and touch the floor right now.
Oh, yeah? Don, if you were an old maid, you'd have to go down in the basement, stand on a barrel, and bore a hole in the ceiling before you could look under the bed. But this is your anniversary, Don, so let's change the subject.
Okay, Jack, how about that raise? I think I deserve it, don't you?
Yes, I'm agreeing, but not spending. Oh, hello, Phil. How are you?
Hiya, Jackson. What's new?
Jackson again. Phil, why do you walk in here every Sunday night and call me Jackson?
Because asking you for a raise is like going up against a stone wall.
That was very clever, Phil, very clever. You know, you're just lucky you're not broadcasting over a trap door right now. By the way, aren't you going to congratulate Don? You know, he's been in radio 16 years today.
Sure. Congratulations, Don.
Oh, thanks, Phil.
You know, Jack, I've been in this racket almost as long as Wilson.
You have? Oh, that's right, Phil. You started out in radio with a hillbilly band, didn't you?
Yep, the Blue Ridge Blue Blowers. Wakes, weddings, and feuds.
Oh, were you the leader?
No, I played first jug.
Jug, eh? Well, I'll bet it wasn't entirely empty. Who was your sponsor then, Phil?
Hatfield's Mountain Dew.
Oh.
Watch the pink elephants go by.
Well, Well, quite a slogan. Now, let's see. What were we talking about there?
Well, I don't like to be insistent, Jack, but I've been with you for 5 years. Now, how about that raise?
Raise. Don, keep your shirt on. Less Ringling Brothers, move under it. And stop scowling at me.
Hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Mary. Where were you?
I just got a letter from Mama, and I was out in the hall reading it to the janitor.
To the janitor?
Yeah, he says Mama's funnier than you are.
What, Cyril said that? Cyril? I hope he gets termites in his broom handle.
You want to hear the letter? Mama's a panic today.
Oh, all right, go ahead. What's the B. Lily of Plainfield got to say?
Here it is. Plainfield, New Jersey, March the 9th.
Look, it's written in red ink.
Yeah, it's an extra.
Oh, well, go ahead.
My darling daughter, Mary, just a few words to let you know we're all well and that I received your last check. Quite a while ago, wasn't it?
The old gold digger. Go ahead.
So sorry you couldn't be here for your sister Ruby's wedding. It was a grand affair.
Well, it's about time she got married.
When the bridegroom said I do, your father yelled hooray. And I was so embarrassed I stopped applauding.
That's typical of your mother.
Your sister's husband is a local tree surgeon, and it was love at first sight.
Oh.
She met him one day when he came to prune your Uncle Otto's wooden leg, which is budding again.
Budding again?
Yeah. Last year they got 3 bushels of apples off it.
Oh, that's amazing. Continue.
Your new brother-in-law is 6 feet tall and has beautiful brown hair, which would look much better without those bangs.
Your sister would get somebody like that.
Quiet.
Oh.
The happy couple are driving to California on the honeymoon and plan to visit you. So get out of town before it's too late, my dear.
Boy, is she corny.
I don't think so.
Of course not. You're in the groove, too. Go ahead, Mary.
Your brother Marvin wants to thank you.
Oh, hello, Kenny.
Hello, Jack. What's going on?
Nothing. Mary's mother's hogging our program again. Go ahead, Mary.
Your brother Marvin wants to thank you for the movie camera you sent him on his birthday. He took movies of your cousin Willie last week in our neighbor's chicken coop.
Well.
It must be quite a picture. They're going to preview it tonight at the police station.
What a family.
Must close now as there's no other news. Give my love to Don, Kenny, Phil, and that gray-haired weasel you work with.
I think she's comical.
So goodbye for now. Your loving mother, Pygmalion Livingston.
Pygmalion? Well, she's topical anyway, huh?
P.S. I almost forgot to tell you. When your father read about Hetty Lamar eloping, he tried to kill himself, but with gin as usual.
Well, I'm glad that's over with. Now, Kenny, do you think you can follow our New Jersey correspondent with a song?
Yeah. You know, Jack, Mary's mother is a scream. I wish my mother was as smart as she is.
Why, isn't your mother smart, Kenny?
Not very. She thinks I'm Frank Parker.
Oh, then sing, Frank. I don't want to disillusion her. No matter how much you spend on your girl, you can't deduct it unless you marry her.
Well, the government wouldn't feel that way if they could see her.
Well, I'm sure they wouldn't. You know, in the first place, Kenny, when you make out your income tax, you should get somebody to help you.
Oh, gosh, I had 4 accountants and I drove them nuts.
That I can believe. Say, Phil, did you have much trouble making out your income tax?
No, with the salary you pay me, it was a pleasure.
That's so. Phil, if I only paid you 35 cents a week, you should salam every time you meet me on the street.
I'll salam you right now if you want it.
Some funny crack. That would go better in the Wilshire Bowl. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this being Don's anniversary.
Say, Jack, the government's going to get a big kick out of my tax.
They are?
Yeah, I wrote a poem in the back of my check.
A poem?
Rickety racks, rickety racks. Here's my check for the income tax. If it bounces, let it slam and give my love to Uncle Sam.
Well, that's very good. That's very good. They should love that. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I started to announce several times, what was that now? Oh, yes, Don, yes. This being Don Wilson's 16th anniversary, I would like to have you all listen attentively to this grand announcer, whose mastery of the English language has made him the success he is today. Take it, Don.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this being my 16th anniversary, why don't you celebrate it by running down to your neighborhood grocer and asking him for a package of tempting and delicious Jell-O.
Bravo, Don.
It is America's favorite gelatin dessert and comes in 6 delicious flavors. Strawberry,
Ah, folks, what diction.
raspberry,
What superb enunciation.
cherry,
Note the bell-like quality of his voice, folks.
orange,
Listen to those pear-shaped tones.
lemon,
Ain't he a whiz-bang?
and lime. I thank you.
Did you hear that, folks? Did you hear that? If that wasn't thrilling, I'm a Chinaman.
Here's my laundry, Jack.
Thanks. I'll have it back Wednesday. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as a climax to this special occasion, we were going to do a little play called The Life of Don Wilson. But we found it rather dull. So we decided instead to give you the life of Fred Allen. But that turned out to be repulsive. So therefore, folks...
Say, Jack, speaking of Allen, I saw that picture of you on the front cover of Radio Guide where you're training to fight him.
Yes, sir, and I looked pretty tough there, didn't I?
You sure did, but I couldn't figure out what you were holding in your right hand.
That was a flute. You see, Allen is a snake, and I have to charm him before I can hit him. Now, getting back to our play, I think it's a crime the way Portland has to take in washing. Allen's doing all right. Oh, well. Anyhow, tonight we are going to present... pardon me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Oh, you. What do you want now?
It's about Carmichael, your polar bear.
What's the matter? Is this cold still bad? You know, Mary, he caught a terrific cold last week. How is he, Rochester?
Doggone that animal.
Well, did you give him that hot bath like I told you to?
Well, yes and no.
What do you mean, yes or no?
I got him in the bathroom and he got me in the tub.
Well, look, Rochester, there's a mustard plaster in the cabinet, so you better put it on his chest. That'll help.
On his chest, what about all that fur?
Well, naturally, you'll have to shave the fur off.
Boss, if I ever get that close to him with a razor, I'm going to get even.
Rochester, don't you dare lay a hand on him.
Not if I want it back.
I'll come home right away and take care of Carmichael myself. In the meantime, put him to bed. So long.
So long.
Well, what's so funny?
Wasn't it silly of Mr. Wilson to ask you for a raise?
It sure was. Goodbye. I'm sorry, fellas, but I got to run along. I'm worried to death about Carmichael. You can take care of the rest of the show, can't you, Don?
Oh, sure. Run along, Jack.
Come on, Mary. I want you to go with me.
Okay.
Can I come too, Jack? I've never seen a polar bear.
Sure, Kenny. He's never seen a tenor either. Let's go. My car's right downstairs.
Oh, that old thing? If you're in a hurry, let's walk.
You'll go in my car and like it. So long, fellas.
So long. Well, Phil, what'll we do?
I don't know about you, but I'm going to lay down over here in the corner. Play, boys, and not too loud.
we'll be at my house pretty soon now. Gee, I hope Carmichael isn't seriously ill.
Forget about the bear, Jack, and watch your driving. Oh, boy, what a car.
Well, what's the matter with it?
Every time you step on the gas, the radiator shoots up like Old Faithful.
Well, a little water isn't going to kill you.
Whee! Boy, I'm enjoying this ride.
Are you, Kenny?
Yeah, I'm young and I can take it.
I wish you two would stop joking when I'm worried about Carmichael. Who knows, maybe he's dying.
Oh, Jack, quit worrying. The bear will be all right. And watch that stoplight.
What stoplight?
The one you just went through.
Oh. Oh, well, nobody saw me.
They didn't, eh?
No.
Then what's that, a mockingbird?
Yes, but wait. Oh, my goodness, it's a cop. Now, look, kids, let me do the talking. Hello, officer.
Hey, you, what's the big idea? Where do you think you're going, to a fire?
Well, that's original.
Mary. What seems to be the trouble, officer?
You see that red light that keeps going on and off back there?
Yes?
That ain't just to break the monotony, you know.
Well, I'm sorry, officer.
I got a good mind to give you a ticket.
Go ahead, I dare you.
Now, Mary. She's a little nervous, officer.
Oh, yeah?
You can't arrest us. I'm a junior G-man.
Penny, keep still. Look, officer, I've really got a good reason for being in such a rush. My polar bear is quite ill.
You're what?
My polar bear, Carmichael, he's sick in bed with a bad cold.
Ah, you're drunk, too, huh?
No, officer, I'm serious. Mary, you tell him, haven't I got a polar bear that's sick in bed?
Oh, Jack, think of another one.
What? Kenny, tell the man, do I or do I not own a polar bear?
Which do you want me to say?
Swell pals. All right, officer, I haven't got a polar bear. He isn't sick, and I'm just a big liar.
Well, that's more like it. Here's your ticket.
Thanks. So long.
So long. A sick polar bear. What do you think I am, an imbecile?
That's imbecile.
Oh, yeah? Here's another ticket.
It's fine. I got two of them now.
Get another one. We can all go.
Yeah. Well, let's get out of here.
Hey, wait a minute. Not so fast, buddy.
Oh, now what?
Look at those license plates. This isn't 1937, mister.
Now, see here, it's not my fault. I wrote in for new ones.
Well, while you're waiting, have another ticket.
Hooray, I knew we'd make it.
Kenny. Now, listen, officer, I can explain...
Oh, Jack, you've got enough. Don't be a pig.
Oh, brother, if you weren't a woman. Well, all right, I'll take these tickets and go.
I want to hold mine.
All right. All right, let's get going. 3 tickets. And you two kids certainly proved to be fine traders.
Oh, we were just having a little fun.
Yeah, what's the matter? Can't you take a rib?
Kenny, I'd like to take your rib and hit you on the head with it. Well, here's my street. Hang on tight, I'm going to make a turn. Gee, I hope there's nothing seriously wrong with Carmichael. You know, I've become so attached to that bear. Gee, he's just like a relative.
Yeah, all he does is eat and sleep.
Just the same, I like him. Well, here we are at the house. Come on, kids.
Jack, you better put the car in the garage.
I can't. Rochester's got 3 cousins from Alabama living in there. I don't know what to do with them.
Why don't you start a minstrel show?
No, I think I'll just plant cotton in the backyard. That'll keep them busy.
Hey, Mary, get a load of that sign on the front door.
Where? Why, Jack Benny, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
What for?
Look at that sign. See the polar bear, 15 cents.
Well, I'll be darned. Rochester must have put that up. I was wondering how he bought that new suit. Darn it, the door's locked and I forgot my key. Ring the bell, Kenny.
I can't go in. I didn't bring any money with me.
Never mind. Ring the bell.
Okay.
We ain't open today, folks. The bear's sick.
Rochester! Rochester, open that door.
Oh, it's you, boss. Hello, Miss Livingston. Hello, Mr. Baker. I ain't seen you in some time.
Forget the formalities. How's Carmichael? Did you put him in bed like I told you to?
Yes, boss, but I had a little trouble getting your pajamas on him.
Pajamas? Rochester, if those are my new silk ones, I'm going to take $10 out of your salary this week.
What do you mean out? That's it.
Well, I haven't got time to argue. Tell me, how's Carmichael?
His cold seems to be getting worse. He sneezes all the time.
Well, that's awful. Did you take his temperature?
I sure did, boss.
What does the thermometer say?
Easterly winds with probable rain.
You used a barometer. Oh, well, I'm going in and look at him.
Can we see him, Jack?
Yes, but you'll have to be quiet. Now, follow me. Gee,
I wonder if we should have brought flowers.
that isn't necessary. Here's the room. Shh. Now, be quiet. Oh, look at Carmichael sleeping there, peaceful as a lamb. Gee, isn't he cute? Look at that smile on his face. Huh?
Yeah, I wonder what he's dreaming of.
Some other bear, no doubt.
Quiet, you'll disturb him. You see? You woke him up. Gee, look at him. He's got such a bad cold, I think I'll pull the covers up around him.
Be careful, boss. He's kind of ornery.
Well, naturally, he's sick. Look at him. Has Carmichael got a bad toe? Gesundheit. Ooh, Carmichael, watch it.
Shall I get your umbrella, boss?
No, Rochester, you should have given him a spoonful of this cough syrup every hour. Here, open his mouth and give it to him now.
Boss, I wouldn't open his mouth if my best friend was in there.
Oh, give me that spoon. I'll give him the medicine myself.
Look out for your hand, Jack.
Don't listen to Rochester. He's just a coward.
That's me, a coward with brains.
Well, I'll show you there's nothing to be afraid of. Now, here, Carmichael, be a good little bearsy-wearsy and open whose mouth. Come on now, take this cough syrup for Daddy. Now, come on, Carmichael. Daddy is getting impatient. Take this cough medicine. Carmichael, I'll shove it right in your mouth. Carmichael!
Open up them golden gates.
Carmichael, take this medicine.
Jack, look out!
Hey, look out, Jack. He's coming for you.
Carmichael, get back in bed.
Come on, Kenny, let's get out of here.
Carmichael! Rochester, get out of my way.
Out of your way, I'm in Pomona now.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey, boss, should I get a doctor?
Doctor nothing. Get Frank Buck.
Here's a new idea for St. Patrick's Day. Quick and easy to prepare, unusual looking, delicious to eat. We think you'll like it. Jell-O chocolate pudding, rich and creamy smooth, served in individual sherbet glasses and topped with fluffy whipped cream and bright green candy shamrocks. And there is a grand dessert, for Jell-O chocolate pudding is just the best tasting pudding you ever dipped a spoon in. Smooth as satin. Real chocolatey, for it's made with fine, wholesome ingredients. It has a beautifully tender texture, a mouth-watering taste, and this delicious dessert is only one of 3 new Jell-O puddings. There's Jell-O butterscotch pudding, rich with true old-fashioned butterscotch flavor, the kind you loved when you were a kid. And there's Jell-O vanilla pudding, creamy and delicate and delicious, an all-family favorite. All 3 Jell-O puddings are amazingly quick and easy to prepare. You'll find the simple directions on every package. The best way to buy is 3 packages at a time. So ask your grocer tomorrow for Jell-O chocolate, butterscotch, and vanilla pudding, the real homemade kind.
the last number of the 24th program in the new Jell-O series, and we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this time I want to congratulate and extend my good wishes to the American Legion who celebrate their 25th anniversary this week. You know, Mary, every time the Legion has a birthday, it reminds me of my heroic deeds in the World War.
It does, eh?
Yes, sir.
Well, Carmichael's gone now. Get down off the chandelier.
Are you sure? Good night, folks.
J-E-L-L. Kenny Baker appears on the Jell-O program through courtesy of Mervyn LeRoy Productions.
Included today was My Heart Belongs to Daddy from the production Leave It to Me. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Jell-O program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with I Must Have One Kiss, Kiss, Kiss. If you ever had a chance to peek into some of the quaint old cookbooks of centuries past, you may have noticed that many of the meat recipes begin with the amusing words, "First catch your fowl." Well, in much the same way, many of the finest dessert recipes today might begin with, "First get some Jell-O, for with Jell-O in your kitchen cupboard, you're all set to make some of the grandest desserts you ever dreamed of." No matter how you serve it, Jell-O will prove the masterpiece of the meal. Perfectly plain in a mold of brilliant color, crimson strawberry, golden lemon, or sea green lime. Cut into shimmering little cubes or whipped up into a beautiful fluffy lightness, or molded in colorful layers. Jell-O is always extra good because it has extra rich flavor, a flavor that rivals the real ripe fruit itself. Just be sure to get genuine Jell-O when you buy, because the name Jell-O is a trademark, the property of General Foods. So look for those big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O. That was I Must Have One More Kiss, 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 played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again we bring you our master of ceremonies, that genial host of Beverly Hills whose Thanksgiving party last Thursday will never be forgotten.
I'll never forget it.
Quiet, Mary.
A man who spared no expense to ensure the success of this delightful occasion.
Mary, please.
A man whose social gatherings have made him the talk of the film colony.
Thank you, Don.
A host at whose dinners the second cup of coffee is always free, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, I'm glad you had such a nice time at my Thanksgiving party. But what did you mean the second cup of coffee was free?
I was only kidding, Jack. Mary was ribbing you, so I thought I'd join in. It was really a grand evening.
Well, thanks, Don. And it's for you, Miss Livingston. That's the last time you'll ever have dinner at my house.
Oh, Jack, don't be so touchy.
Well, who wouldn't be?
Gee, you're getting so sensitive lately. It's simply awful.
Just the same, you're not eating at my house anymore.
Who cares? My ticket is punched out anyway.
My, that's comical. You know, it seems strange, Mary, but you're the only one that gets bored when I invite the gang over. Hey, Phil.
What is it, Jackson?
Did you have a good time at my Thanksgiving party?
Yeah, it's the first time I ever got a hangover from a turkey.
Phil, you don't have to tell me how you got a hangover. You were doing all right long before you came to my house.
What do you mean?
When I opened the front door, you fell in like a body in a murder mystery. Not only that, you brought me a manhole cover. So don't blame it on the turkey, eh, Don?
You're right, Jack. Personally, I thought the turkey had a delicious flavor, although it was a little tough.
Tough? Why, Don, how can you say that? It was as tender as it could be. That turkey wasn't a bit tough.
Go on. It had muscles like Earl Lederman.
Oh, it did. Well, it's too bad it was so virile. Next time I'll get a turkey that walks around with his wing on his hip. Maybe you'll like that better.
And oh boy, the soup you served. You know, Phil, it reminded me of that new picture.
What picture?
The
rains
came.
Well, I suppose it wasn't a hit. Listen, fellas, if my party was such a big flop, how did it happen to crash the newspapers? It was right on the society page of the Beverly Hills Citizen.
The Beverly Hills Citizen?
Yes, Don, I got it right here. Get this. Here, read it to him, Mary.
Okay. Do you suffer from itchy skin? If so, try...
It's on the other side. Here, give me that. I'll read it. Listen, fellas. Jack Benny entertains. That's the headline. Last Thursday night at his cozy home on Roxbury Drive, Jack Benny, star of stage, screen, and radio, gave the outstanding party of the social season. Among those present were Mary Livingston, Don Wilson, Mrs. Lucretia Day and her son Dennis, Phil Harris, Andy Devine, and Mr. Homer T. Schmink.
Homer T. Schmink? Who was he?
Oh, he was the fellow that delivered the ice cream and wouldn't go home. Go ahead, Mary.
You're reading it.
Oh, yes. Among those unable to attend this scintillating event were Clark Gable and Carol Lombard,
Here they come, folks.
Robert Taylor and Barbara Stanwyck, Tyrone Power and Annabella, the Fred McMurrays, and Mrs. Homer T. Schmink. A good time was had by all. How's that for a write-up?
Let me see that, Jack.
Here you are, Mary. Look at that big print on top. Jack Benny entertains.
Yeah, and look at that little print at the bottom. ADVT.
ADVT?
Yes, that means an ad, and you paid for it.
It means nothing of the kind.
Now, wait a minute, Jackson. ADVT means a paid ad in any newspaper in the country.
Not in this case, Phil.
Then what does it mean?
ADVT means a dinner vit turkey. That's what it means.
Vit turkey?
Yes, vit turkey.
Oh, Jack, you're wonderful.
All right, Mary, I don't care what you say. I consider that a very lovely notice.
It certainly was, Jack. It certainly was, Jack. And you know what I enjoyed most at the party?
What, Don?
The games we played afterwards. Gee, it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, those games are silly, but it's great when you play the old ones, like spin the bottle, pin the tail on the donkey.
Holy smokes, did we play games?
Yes, Phil, we pinned the tail on you 8 times, and you didn't even feel it. And you know why.
No fooling. Say, Jackson, I meant to ask you something. Who was that cute girl I was dancing with all evening?
Forget it, Phil.
Oh, no. Who was that girl I was dancing with? You know, the one in the ermine wrap.
Phil, I said forget it.
Forget it nothing. She was a cute kid, and I want to call her up.
All right, Phil, that cutie was Carmichael. That's who you were dancing with.
I thought she had a cold nose.
You and Carmi were certainly the life of the party. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Gee, I had a good time at your house Thursday night. The dinner was swell.
Well, I'm glad you liked it, Dennis. And incidentally, you're still new on the program, and I don't want to be bossy or anything, but, you know, we never chew gum during a broadcast. So please throw it away.
I'm not chewing gum.
Now, Dennis.
This is a piece of turkey from your Thanksgiving party.
Oh, well, you must have got the only tough piece. Your mother didn't have any trouble, Dennis. She had 2 wings and a drumstick. Where is she?
Flat on her back.
Why, Dennis, you mean your mother's ill?
There you are. The turkey got her.
Phil, it couldn't have been the turkey.
Or maybe it was the dressing.
Don, it wasn't the turkey and it wasn't the dressing.
Couldn't have been the butter. We didn't have any.
Listen, Mary, you don't need butter when you have gravy. You can put gravy on the bread.
Supposing you don't like gravy.
Then stay home, for heaven's sake. A big issue over butter and gravy. Now, let's forget about my party.
I don't know what you kids are complaining about. I got a big piece of butter.
Why, certainly. All you had to do was ask for it. Don asked for a piece of butter, and I gave it to him.
He had to burn his finger first.
Well, then what's the argument? Butter is very good on a burn.
I suppose it's no good on bread.
All right! The next time you fellas come to my house, I'm going to have nothing but butter. Just plain butter. A great big hunk of butter.
Should we come formal?
Yeah, come formal. Let's drop it. Now, Dennis,
Yes, please?
let's have your song, please, before I lose my temper, please. You and your please.
You wouldn't talk like that if my mother was here.
No, I wouldn't, eh? Listen, Dennis, I'll meet your mother any time, any place, any weight. And that goes for your father, too.
If you can lick Mother, you got a cinch with Pa.
I wouldn't be surprised. Now go ahead with your song. Shall we come formal?
Faithful forever, whatever I do. Remember I'm true. Remember that. Faithful forever and thankful for you. I'll keep smiling through. Remember that we may be apart now and then, but I'll hold you in my heart till you're in my arms again. Faithful forever, I promise to be, so always have faith in me. For our love was fated, you were created just for me. And so if ever we're separated, I will be faithful forever. I promise to be, so always have faith in me.
Very good. That was Faithful Forever, sung by Dennis Day and accompanied by the orchestra, who were still playing I Must Have One More Kiss, Kiss, Kiss. And you both did very well. By the way, Dennis, I'm sorry I spoke so sharply to you a little while ago, but I was rather annoyed and I took it out on you.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. Benny.
You're about the only one around here who shows me any respect. So just keep on being a good boy, that's all I ask. You know, there's a certain formula for getting along with me, Dennis. Be grateful, act polite.
And let Jack save your money.
Nice going, Mary.
Listen, Mary, I've had just about enough of those insults and gags at my expense. If you and Geronimo don't like it here. Why don't you go out and get your own program?
We've been thinking about that.
Oh, you have?
Sure, there are plenty of jobs for a guy like me.
Oh, there are. Well, Phil, let me ask you something. Have you ever driven your car across the Mojave Desert?
Sure, why?
Well, did you ever notice that just before you start across the desert, right on the edge of it, there's a gas station that says Last Chance?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, 3 years ago, when you got a job on this program, I was that gas station. Just remember that.
What are you talking about? 3 years ago, my band was the hottest thing in town.
Sure it was the hottest thing in town. You were working in a barbecue pit. Sam's rib joint. Music while you munch. So don't tell me.
Well, we all have our ups and downs. I'm considered the top band leader today.
Oh, you are, eh?
Right now, I'm at the pinnacle of my career.
Pinochle. Oh, boy, what a guy. You know, Phil, sometimes when I look at you, all I can do is shake my head. Just shake my head.
You wouldn't if you could stop it.
A good stiff collar will take care of that. And you, Miss Livingston, what I said about Mr. Harris goes for you, too. You're very lucky to be here.
Is that so?
Yes, that's so. You were on this program 2 years before you realized I wasn't a floor walker. And take that pencil out of your hair. Boy, am I clicking tonight.
That's your teeth.
Oh, my head shakes and my teeth click. I'm doing quite a rumba above my shoulder. Now get away from me.
Oh, my goodness, Jack, but you're sure cracking the whip tonight.
Quiet, Wilson. I'll give you just 2 seconds to say something about Jell-O.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the next time you go to your neighborhood grocer, be sure to ask him for a package of Jell-O. It comes in 6 delicious flavors.
Well, what are they? Name them.
Yes, sir. Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime.
All right, what do you look for? What do you look for?
Be sure to look for the big red letters on the box. They spell Jell-O.
Okay, now go and sit down. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a number by Phil Harris and his orchestra. Get moving, buddy.
Yes, Mr. Legree.
Well, snap into it. What are you laughing at?
You remind me of another picture.
Never mind.
The devil is a sissy.
Well, maybe I did lose my head. Play, Phil. Gee, I'm a regular Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That was East of the Border, played by Phil Harris and his orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Wait a minute. That was south of the border.
I know, Phil. That was just my way of saying you were off the beam. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Now, hold on, Jack. Perhaps it's none of my business, and I don't want to try to run things around here, but don't you think you ought to calm down a little?
Well?
Don't let everything get your goat.
Well, I guess you're right, Don. Maybe I did fly off the handle tonight, but I'm not going to let it happen again. The next party I give, I won't invite anybody, and there won't be any complaints. I'll just sit there all by myself. Just me. Just plain me.
And a big hunk of butter.
At least I'll be happy. That's not asking too much.
Well, Jack, I just can't hold out any longer. This whole thing was a rib.
A rib?
Yeah, every one of us thought that dinner of yours was marvelous.
No kidding, Jack. The turkey was delicious.
Best I ever tasted.
Oh, it was, eh?
Yeah, the piece I got is swell.
Well, Dennis, stop chewing it. Give up already. So you fellas enjoyed the turkey, eh?
We sure did.
Well, kids, I can't hold out any longer either. To show you guys you know nothing about food, that bird I served Thursday night wasn't turkey at all.
It wasn't turkey.
No, it wasn't. It was duck, wild duck. I shot him myself.
Who held him?
Nobody held him. I shot him right out of the air. Mary was with me.
You mean when we were out hunting with Annie Devine?
Yeah, so don't pan the food, fellas, when you don't even know what you're eating.
So you went duck hunting with Andy, huh? Was it fun?
Oh, you should have been there, Don. Jack was a scream.
Never mind.
Boy, what he doesn't know about a gun.
I know plenty about guns, Mary. When I was on the rifle team in Waukegan, they used to call me Bullseye Benny. Bullseye.
I can make it shorter than that.
All right, forget it.
What happened at the duck hunt, Barry?
Well,
It's not important.
Jack and I left Tuesday and stayed overnight at Andy's ranch.
I see.
And about 4 o'clock the next morning, I was down in the kitchen helping Andy's mother get breakfast.
Uh-huh.
Well, anyway, Andy went upstairs to wake up Jack. And pretty soon we heard him hollering, "Hey, Buck, it's 4 o'clock."
Hey, Buck, it's 4 o'clock. Come on, we got to get going.
Hello again. Oh, hello, Andy. What's the matter?
Well, if you want to shoot any ducks, we better get started.
Okay, Andy. I'll be dressed in a minute. Oh, boy, I'm tired.
Gee, Buck, you sure look funny in that nightgown.
What's wrong with my nightgown?
You look like a bride with that long train.
That's not a train. My zipper got caught in the sheet. Where's Mary?
She's downstairs with Ma getting breakfast ready.
What, Mary Livingston up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Oh, boy, I bet she's grouchy.
Oh, no, Buck, she's cheerful as a lark.
Oh, she can't be.
She is, too. I'm telling this story.
Oh.
Well, anyway, Don, Andy came downstairs and Jack went over to the bunkhouse to wake up Rochester.
Oh, was Rochester with you?
Yeah, Jack thought he'd make a good retriever. So Jack went over to get Rochester, and he had an awful time waking him up. You could hear him yelling at the top of his voice.
Rochester. Hey, Rochester. Come on, Rochester. Rochester, we got to get going. Rochester, wake up.
What time is it, sugar?
It's 4 o'clock and it's me. Now get up.
Can I sleep a little longer?
No, you can't. The ducks are waiting for us.
Boss, anything that waits for me at 4 o'clock in the morning better pull up a chair and relax.
Don't be silly, Rochester. How can a duck pull up a chair?
Sit down, boss, and we'll discuss it.
Never mind. Now, you get up out of that bed and make it snappy. Come on.
It's dark outside.
Now, quit stalling. I'll give you just 3 to get up. 1, 2, 3. Rochester, if you don't get up right away, you're going to miss breakfast.
I'm going to score on lunch, too.
All right, very well. I'm going into breakfast right now. And for your information, Rochester, we're having pork chops.
Central Avenue pheasant. Here I come, boss.
I thought so. Now, hurry it up.
Well, Don, it was about 5 o'clock when we finished breakfast, and then we started out for the duck pond.
But, Mary, you're not allowed to shoot ducks that early in the morning, are you?
No, Don, we had to wait about an hour, but you could hear them all over the place. There were hundreds of them.
Oh, boy, get a load of those ducks. Give me my gun, Rochester. There's a baby I got my eye on.
Here you are, boss. Hey, wait a minute, Buck. You can't shoot any ducks till 7 o'clock.
Oh, yes, darn it.
Why don't you take a shot at that tree just for practice?
Practice? Don't worry about me, Mary. I've handled a gun before.
Yeah, but it had a cork on the end of it.
I mean a shotgun.
Say, Buck, I meant to tell you that gun I'll let you have has got a powerful kick when it goes off. Better be careful.
Oh! I will, Andy. You're worse than Mary. I got a gun at home just like this, a 12 millimeter.
Millimeter? You mean gauge.
Well, whatever it is, I got one. I know how to handle it.
Just the same, you ought to try it out.
Okay, I'll show you kids some fancy shooting. See that orange hanging on that tree over there? Watch me knock it off.
That's the sun. It just came up.
Well, I'll show you something else. Here's a real trick. Hey, Rochester, put this tin can on your head and hold still.
Now, wait a minute, boss.
Come on, Rochester, put this can on your head and I'll shoot it off. Don't be scared.
That's fine. The sun isn't orange and he tells me not to be scared.
Rochester, it's a very simple trick. I saw a man do it in vaudeville.
Well, vaudeville's dead and I ain't gonna tell it to move over.
Oh, boy, what a baby. Didn't you ever hear the story about William Tell? He shot an apple off his son's head.
Well, get him. I'll wait.
All right, if you don't want to play, don't play. I never saw a guy worry so much. Hey, Andy, come here a minute.
What do you want, Buck?
Hold your cigarette up in the air. I'll shoot it out of your fingers.
Nothing doing, Buck. I gotta unlace my shoes tonight.
Oh, what a game. No one's game to do anything.
Well, if you want to try out the gun, why don't you shoot at that elm tree over there?
All right, I'll bore a hole right through it.
Now, be careful of that gun. It kicks like a mule.
Oh, Andy, let me alone, will you? Now watch, everybody. I'm aiming right for that tree. Suppose I don't know how to hold a gun, eh?
Wait a minute, Buck. Just close one eye.
Oh, that's right.
And take your finger out of your ear.
Mary, don't distract me. All right, here I go. Ready, aim, fire. Ooh.
You missed it, Buck.
Yeah. Pick me up, Andy. You were right about that gun.
Oh, Jack, look at that big flock of ducks over there in that cove. Big fat ones.
Yeah, let's sneak over and hide in the bushes.
Yeah, we'll be all ready for him at 7 o'clock. Now be quiet, everybody. Say, Andy, how many ducks are we allowed to get? I mean, what's the limit?
10 apiece.
Oh, boy, 20 ducks. Now remember, Rochester, all the ducks I shoot, you'll have to carry home.
Boys, if a duck flies slow enough for you to hit, he's too old to eat.
Don't worry, you just swim out and get them every time I hit them. Here we are now.
Oh, Jack, look at that cute little duck in the water, and it's sound asleep.
Yeah, I'll wake that baby up in a few minutes.
No, you won't. Look what he's got around his neck.
What?
An alarm clock, and it's set for 7:15.
Oh, don't be silly. Gee, I wish it was time already. I can hardly wait till I start blasting away at them.
Take it easy, Buck.
I will, Andy, but gee, I'm kind of anxious to get... Oh, darn it.
Buck, I told you not to shoot before 7 o'clock.
I didn't shoot, Andy. I dropped my gun and went off by accident. What's that?
You got a duck, boss. Get in.
Oh, boy, and I wasn't even aiming at him. Only 9 to go, kids. Wow, this is fun. What a duck.
Gee, it's a beauty, isn't it, Jack?
Yeah, it is pretty. Gee.
Look at those eyes.
Yeah. Look at those eyes. Gosh, I didn't know ducks had blue eyes. And look at that sad face. Ain't it sad looking? Gee, I didn't mean to kill
What's the matter, Buck?
Nothing, Andy. You look at that poor little duck. Gosh, I don't see how people can kill a little thing like that.
Oh, it wasn't your fault, Jack.
I know it wasn't Mary, but gosh, blue eyes. And just think, a minute ago it was alive. Flying through the air, happy and gay. It didn't know it was going to die. Oh, I don't know why I came out here.
Oh, Buck, it was just an accident. You'll get over it.
I won't get over it.
You're not to blame, Jack.
I am, too. I'm a murderer. That's what I am. A murderer. Killer Benny. Come on, Mary, let's go home. Rochester, you stay here with Mr. Devine.
Not me, boss. I can't stand it. I'm going home with you.
All right, Rochester, if you're so sad, put down that duck. So long, Andy.
So long, Buck.
So long.
So you... So you see, Don, that's exactly what happened when Jack went on a hunting trip.
But, Mary, if that's the case, where did Jack get the wild ducks for the dinner?
He bought them in a market, and they weren't any wilder than his.
Well, at least my conscience is clear. I can sleep nights. Play, Phil.
You know, foreign visitors to this country look upon the average American supper table as one of the wonders of the world, and I agree with them. Why, every night of the year, the American table laden with foods that are fit for a king. Yet they're common items in the simplest American menu. Such delicacies, for example, as Jell-O chocolate pudding, a rich, marvelously smooth dessert that's cramped. It has a full, satisfying flavor like the old-fashioned pudding your mother used to make. But Jell-O chocolate pudding is quick and easy. You can serve it in any number of tempting ways, dressed up with whipped cream, chopped nuts, or maraschino cherries. You can make a swell chocolate pie filling with it, or use it for a satin-smooth chocolate sauce. And there's Jell-O butterscotch pudding with its warm, mellow, golden taste. And a Jell-O vanilla pudding, delicate and creamy and extra luscious with fruits or nuts folded in. They're all swell to eat. They're all easy to make. So get Jell-O puddings tomorrow. Chocolate, butterscotch, and vanilla, and you'll know why all America is raving about these new desserts.
We're a little late, so good night, folks.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jack Benny. If any of you have visited a hospital anywhere in America recently, you know there's a critical shortage of nurses. At least 65,000 new students must enroll this year if we are to care for our fighting forces and our civilians at home. So please think about it. You can do an important war job as a cadet nurse, and you can become one with all expenses paid. The U.S. Cadet Nurse Corps issues scholarships, which pay all expenses, plus a regular monthly spending allowance. As a cadet nurse, you can help your country right now. And you receive training for a respected and well-paid lifetime career. So if you're from 18 to 35 years of age, with a good high school record and good health, why don't you join the U.S. Cadet Nurse Corps? Apply for complete information at your local hospital or write to the U.S. Cadet Nurse Corps, Box 88, New York City.
The Grape Nuts and Grape Nuts Flakes program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Well, of all things, folks, Wilbur Brown is on a diet. And of all the foolish things I ever heard, why, it's so silly I hate to tell you. You know what Wilbur does? He goes on a starvation diet for breakfast. Then, of course, eats like a stuffed owl at lunchtime. Doesn't the poor guy know that breakfast is the stoke-up meal, the most important meal of the day? We've been without any food 10 or 12 hours. That's why dietitians tell us we need at least 1/4 of our entire day's nourishment in the morning. And they say we need a whole grain cereal. So make it Grape Nuts Flakes, folks. Delicious? You bet. Crisp, toasty brown, malty rich, and nourishing. Grape Nuts Flakes are a whole grain cereal, crammed full of energy-giving whole grain food values. So, friends, don't be a Wilbur. Eat a good breakfast, do a better job, and feature tempting, toasty brown Grape Nuts Flakes, America's most distinctive flake cereal, Grape Nuts Flakes. Was Oklahoma, played by the orchestra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's turn back the clock a few hours. It's Sunday morning in the Jack Benny household.
A Sunday, a Monday, and always.
I would be in heaven if I could roll a 7. Sunday, Monday, and always. I'd be so happy it would make my poor heart pound to hear those little cubes go round and round and round and round.
Oh, Rochester, whoever told you you could sing?
There was only one man who told me I couldn't.
Well, I'd like to meet him.
He's dead now.
Well, prop up another pillow behind me so I'll be more comfortable. You can bring me my breakfast now.
Okay, but this is the silliest thing I ever heard of.
There's nothing silly about it. Lots of people have breakfast in bed.
I know, boss, but not in the kitchen.
Well, it's warmer down here than it is up in my room. I hope you haven't any objection.
No, but it sure was a strain on me carrying your bed downstairs.
It was a strain on me, too. You almost shook me out of it. Now, how about some orange juice?
I'm fixing it for you right now. Let's see. Here's the orange. Now, where's the knife? I got it. Now to give it a good squeeze.
What was that?
Juice!
Juice?
Yes, sir. These California oranges don't know their own strength.
That looks good. What else? What else should I have, Rochester?
How about some breakfast cereal?
Yeah. What kind of breakfast cereal have we got?
Oh, boss, come now.
Oh, yes, I'll have the flakies this time. The flakies? Good.
And would you like some... Uh-oh. Say, boss, here comes your crazy boarder, Mr. Billingsley.
Shh, quiet, Rochester. You'll hurt his feelings. Good morning, Mr. Billingsley.
Good morning, Mr. Benny. Taking it lying down, I see.
Yes, breakfast in bed is one luxury I always enjoy.
You know, I always used to have my bed in the kitchen, too. In fact, I lived in the kitchen.
You did? Why?
Oh, it was one of those things. I was married to a cockroach.
To a cockroach?
Her name was Gwendolyn. We used to argue all the time over who was boss.
What was that, Mr. Billingsley?
I say we used to argue all the time over who was boss.
You and the cockroach? You did?
Yes. But one day I put my foot down, and that was the end of it. After that, I stayed single for a long time. But I got tired of being a bachelor, so I remarried.
What's that, Rochester?
Our trap. It finally caught that mouse.
Oh.
Well, what do you know? I'm single again.
One tragedy after another. Would you care for a cup of coffee, Mr. Billingsley?
No, thanks. I must be leaving now. I'm going to run over to the barber shop and get a T-bone steak.
But you can't get a T-bone steak at the barber shop.
I know, but I can't get one at the butcher's either, so I might as well get a haircut while I'm waiting.
I see.
Well, goodbye, Mr. Benny.
Goodbye.
Now, how did that get by the censor?
That's what you... You know, Rochester, I feel like laughing, but he scares me so. Rochester, I think you're right. He has been acting a little eccentric lately. Well, hand me my robe. I'm going to get up.
Okay. Say, boss, you better hurry. We got to pick up your camel at the freight company today.
That's right, Rochester. I invited my whole gang over. And remember, don't breathe a word about it. I want the camel to be a big surprise. I'll get it, Rochester. You clean up the dishes. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Well, you told me to come over here. Now, what's the big secret you're going to spring on us?
Mary, you'll never guess. It'll be the biggest surprise this town ever had.
Don't tell me you were drafted.
Don't be silly, Mary. I'm over 38. What are you laughing at?
That's what kept you out of the last war.
Mary, I'm only a little over 38 now.
Go on. You've got a brother that's 50.
I know I have.
Your twin brother.
So what? We had a slow doctor. Anyway, the idea of my being in the service isn't so ridiculous.
Well, you know what Fred Allen said. The biggest laugh you ever got was when you appeared before your draft board.
Oh, yeah? Well, all I know is when Allen went to his draft board, they looked at the guy in front of him and said 4H, the guy in back of him and said 4F, then they looked at Allen and said, what for? Which, incidentally, is the same thing his father said to the stork. So don't tell me about Allen.
All right, Jack.
Why, that weakling. He had to take a local anesthetic to get his elk's tooth cleaned. So don't tell me about Alan.
All right, Jack, I won't.
He had to go to Charles Atlas for 6 months to get enough muscles to hiccup. So don't tell me about Alan.
All right, Jack, all right.
And you're lucky I can't think of anything else.
Jack, will you please forget about Alan and tell me what the surprise is?
Mary, I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to wait here till it comes. Meanwhile, I'm going upstairs and get dressed.
Okay, I want to use the phone anyway. I forgot to tell Butterfly what to prepare for dinner.
Go ahead. I'll be down in a minute.
This is the operator. Number, please.
Give me Crestview 52717.
Just a minute. Does Mr. Benny know you're using his phone?
Well, of course he knows.
Oh, yeah? Well, what's the password?
Password? Well, of all the... Oh, Jack, what's the password?
Sulfanilamide.
You have to get a prescription to make a phone call here yet. Operator, it's sulfanilamide.
Okay, I'll get your number.
Hello?
Hello, Butterfly. This is Miss Livingston.
Oh, hello, Miss Livingston. Gee, I'm awfully glad you called.
You are Butterfly? Why?
I was lonesome.
Oh, well, Butterfly, the reason I called is I forgot to tell you what to prepare for dinner tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have dinner at 7 o'clock. So let's have vegetable soup, salad with Thousand Island dressing, lamb chops, and rice pudding. Have you got that down?
I haven't even cooked it yet.
Butterfly, I mean, did you write it down?
No, ma'am, but I will. Would you mind telling me again, Miss Livingston?
All right. Vegetable soup, salad with Thousand Island dressing, lamb chops, and rice pudding. Now, have you got that written?
Not yet, Miss Livingston. I'm having trouble with the spelling.
Oh, what can't you spell?
The words.
Well, never mind, Butterfly. I'll come home early and help you out.
Thank you. By the way, Miss Livingston, when you get home, would you mind coming in the back door?
Why?
I just swept the living room.
Well, I'll try and be careful. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Say, Mary, I'm going to rush out now and bring back the surprise. So you call Don, Phil, and Dennis and tell them to hurry over.
All right.
Rochester, get the car out.
Okay, boss.
Oh, Jack, are you still driving around in that yellow cab of yours?
Mary, it doesn't look like a cab anymore. I had it painted a different color.
Oh.
That's right, Miss Livingston. If we didn't stop to pick up passengers, no one would know it's a taxi cab.
Rochester, stop lying and let's go. Oh, darn it, there's the phone. I'll get it. Hello?
Mr. Benny, this is the operator.
Yes?
What's the password for tomorrow?
LSMFT. Goodbye. Come on, Rochester, let's go. You better hurry, Rochester. I want to get to the freight office before it closes.
Okay.
And when we get the Camel, I want you to be nice to her.
Boss, I don't want to have anything to do with those wild animals. I'm having enough trouble with your polar bear.
Oh, you're always afraid of Carmichael just because he shows his teeth once in a while. For heaven's sake, he's only smiling at you.
Smiling at me?
Yes.
You want to know something, boss?
What?
Yesterday when I was feeding him, I happened to turn my back, and he smiled right through the seat of my pants.
Oh, Rochester, stop exaggerating. Carmichael's just playful.
Playful? What happened to the gas man?
What are you talking about? That was 2 years ago.
Well, we haven't had a gas bill since.
All right, Rochester, drop it. Anyway, here we are at the freight office. Oh, boy. Won't the gang be surprised when I come home with the Camel? I guess we'll have to go over to that other window.
Where?
Over there, where the man's on the phone.
I'm sorry, but we don't make deliveries. You'll have to call for it yourself. I'll be with you in a minute, sir. No, I can't break the rule. You'll have to call for it yourself. Goodbye. Can you imagine a guy like that sending a mountain goat all the way from Denver?
A mountain goat, huh?
Yeah. What a crackpot he must be.
Well...
But there's nothing. You know what I got waiting here for some nitwit?
What?
It's...
Well, what is it?
If I told you, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, yes, he would.
Rochester.
Well, what's waiting here for you, Bud?
Well...
Well, what is it?
Well...
Oh!
Well, what about it? They have them for pets in North Africa. Now, you have got my camel here, haven't you?
You don't think I got these windows open because I love the great outdoors, do you?
Never mind, Dad. Bring her out.
You'll have to go get her yourself, mister. Every time I go near that crazy animal, she spits at me.
It's your own fault. Camels only spit at people they don't like. Come on, Rochester. We'll go get her. Oh, there she is, Rochester. There's the camel. Isn't she cute? Oh, you sweet thing. We're going to be pals, aren't we? We're going to...
Boss!
There was nothing, Rochester. She just threw me a kiss.
Well, I got some of it on me.
Never mind. Now, help me put this rope around her neck.
Okay.
Gee, Rochester, I can hardly wait to get her home. Boy, will the gang be surprised.
Gosh, I wonder what's keeping Jack so long. I'm getting kind of anxious to know what the surprise is.
Me too.
What do you think it is, Phil?
I don't know. Maybe he broke down and finally decided to give us Christmas presents.
Oh, I don't think so. I told Jack it's better to give than to receive, but he didn't hear the first part of it. No, I guess it isn't that.
Oh, I know what.
Why?
Maybe he broke down and finally decided to give us Christmas presents, huh?
Dennis, I just said that.
You did?
Yeah.
Copycat?
Oh.
Say, I'll bet I know what the surprise is.
No, Don. No, Don. No.
I don't see why not.
Don, please.
Well, gee, Mary, why couldn't the surprise be a violin? Maybe a real Stradivarius.
Oh, for a minute I thought you were going to say grape nuts flakes.
So did I.
I didn't.
Why, of course not. Now, what kind of a surprise would grape nuts flakes be? There's nothing unusual about people coming home with grape nuts flakes, and why shouldn't they? They're malty, rich, sweet as a nut, and are a whole grain cereal.
Mr. Wilson is right. It could be a violin.
And not only that, they're a basic 7 food.
Violins?
No, grape nuts flakes. And they're a thrifty buy in the big 12-ounce economy-sized package.
That could be a small violin.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait till Jackson gets back.
Hey, Dennis, while we're waiting, how about giving us a little entertainment?
Okay, take a card.
I don't mean card trick.
Oh, this isn't a trick. This card I want you to take is from my singing teacher. He's looking for more business.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, let's have that song, kid.
will cry again. Lips that kiss like yours could lie again. If I'm fool enough to see this through, will I be sorry if I do? Should I believe my heart or you? My heart tells me I will cry again. Lips that kiss like yours could lie again. If I'm fool enough to see this through, will I be sorry if I do? Should I believe my heart or you?
All right, easy now, girlie. Easy. Here's the car, Rochester. Rochester, open the door.
That camel ain't gonna fit in the car.
Certainly it will. She can pull in her neck and fold up her leg. Oh, darn it, she won't get in. She keeps shying away.
You should have taken the meter out, boss. She knows it's a taxi cab.
Don't be silly, Rochester. Well, put the flag up anyway. Now, let's see. I'll tell you what we better do. You drive the car home, and I'll ride the camel. Give me a boost, will you?
Okay.
Steady. Steady there. There. Steady, girlie. Gee, this feels high.
Hey, look at the guy on the camel.
Holy smoke!
Well, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Hey, mister.
What?
The camels are coming. Ta-da-ta-da. The camels are coming.
Oh, shut up. What's the matter with you people? Did you ever see a camel before? Hey, Sonny, stop that. Cut it out. Cut that out, I say.
You quit hollering at my boy, mister.
Well, make him stop riding his bicycle under us. What a bunch of tourists. Rochester, start the car and let's get going. Rochester.
I beg your pardon, sir.
You know me and don't deny it. Now, let's get started.
My goodness, look in the middle of the street, a lumpy giraffe.
Madam, this happens to be a camel.
I'm not talking to you.
Rochester, let's get away from this crowd. Come on, girlie. Giddy up. Come on. Steady.
Careful, boss. She's rearing up.
Take it easy, girlie. Take it easy.
Oh, boss, hold on. Look out.
I can't.
Oh. What happened, boss?
What happened? I fell off. That's what happened. Rochester, the camel's running away. Grab the rope.
I did, but it broke.
Oh, doggone it. There she goes down the street.
Don't worry, boss. There's a red light. She'll have to stop.
Don't be silly. Well, I better call up the house and tell the gang not to wait. Darn it, and I wanted to surprise them with the camel. Oh, well. Rochester, you try to catch her. I'm going over to that drugstore and phone.
Hey, Mary, I can't hang around here any longer. I got to get home before the broadcast and bring Alice my radio script.
Oh, does she rehearse it with you?
No, she explains it to me.
Well, I can do that, Phil.
Hey, that must be Jack with his surprise.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's ringing the bell. I'll open the door. Oh. Hello.
Hello, is Jack Benny here?
Well, no.
Well, gee, I can't understand it. I'm his girlfriend, Gladys Zabisco, and he wanted me to come over to the house for a surprise.
Oh, do you hear that, fellas?
So you're the surprise.
Gee, am I?
Say, Mary, maybe they're engaged.
Come on in, Gladys.
Thank you.
Well, so you're the surprise.
Oh, Mr. Bisco.
Yeah.
Dennis.
I'm only trying to be a wolf.
Hey, Mary, it looks like that Jack and his girlfriend got their signals crossed, huh?
Yeah, I wonder where... Oh, excuse me, Gladys. I'll be right back. Hello?
Hello, Mary. This is Jack. I've got some bad news about my surprise.
I know. I've seen her.
What?
Your surprise is here.
At my house? You mean she found her way all by herself?
Well, what's so wonderful about that?
Well, I knew she had a tag around her neck, but I didn't know she could read.
Jack, stop being so funny, and I think it was rude of you not to come with her.
Mary, I was bringing her home, but the rope broke and she got away.
The rope broke?
Yes, the last time I saw her, she was running down the street waving her tail at people.
What?
Oh, Mary, look, she must be thirsty by now. Would you mind giving her a drink of water?
Of course not.
Now, look, you'll find a pail on the back porch. Just fill it up with water and set it on the floor in front of her.
On the floor?
Yes, she'll get down on her knees and drink it.
Jack, do you know what you're talking about?
Of course, she was trained that way. And Mary, look, she has a special diet, so don't give her anything to eat till I get home. I don't want anything to happen because I got a good offer for her from the zoo.
Jack, I think you're nuts.
Oh, yeah, I know she looks kind of dirty now, but when I get home, I'm going to give her a bath.
Jack, if she heard you say that, she'd slap your face.
Slap my face? Mary, what are you talking about?
Your girlfriend, Gladys Abisco, she's here.
Well, what of it?
Isn't she your surprise?
Of course not. The surprise is my camel.
Your camel?
Yes, you remember. It's the one that I said I was going to...
Boss!
But, Jack,
I have to hang up the phone now, Mary. Rochester's calling me. What is it, Rochester?
I found a camel.
Good. Where'd you find her?
In the next booth.
Well, get her out of there.
We gotta wait, boss. She put in the call to Egypt, and there'll be a 3-hour delay on the call.
Rochester, stop making up such silly things.
Okay.
Now tell me, where is she?
She's over at the counter having a cherry Coke.
Well, that's different. Let's go get her and go home.
You know, most folks are sort of contrary. Why, if a law was passed, no more breakfast, everybody'd holler for breakfast. But as it is, far, far too many people are skimping the most important meal of the day. And you can't expect to do a man-sized job on a canary bird breakfast. Eat a good breakfast, do a better job, and feature those two leading favorites, Grape Nuts and Grape Nuts Flakes. If you've enjoyed the distinctive, malty-rich goodness of these two delicious cereals, you know why they're favorites. Because theirs is the luscious flavor of sun-ripened wheat and malted barley, expertly blended. Grape Nuts, crisp, crunchy kernels. Grape Nuts Flakes, delicate, toasty brown flakes. Both bring you a swell-tasting breakfast treat and a big extra plus. The extra plus of all-around whole-grain nourishment. One type of nourishment recommended as a breakfast must by nutrition experts. Yep, they're as good for you as they're grand to eat. So feature Grape Nuts and Grape Nuts Flakes on your breakfast table every morning.
Well, folks, we'll be with you next Sunday night at the same time, broadcasting from the Marine Air Station at El Toro, California. Good night, everybody.